confused. You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop arguing me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dad.
Hey, Hogs Twins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The Dumb Show and his website, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. What are we?
It's Red Friday. RED Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. A movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday is a great way to back those who serve our country. Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
You know, I love trolls. I've loved trolls because of how incredibly stupid they are. God, I hope this guy comes on. I love how incredibly stupid they are. And the thing is that you've got a guy who has a fairly respectable page, and he has no idea what he has. He's got about 30,000 followers. He can make some decent money. He can make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a year off 30,000 followers if he provided any type of value. But see, this is the problem: is you get these kids who understand how to market but have no idea how to continue to grow. So they create these pages, 2012, 2016. This guy's probably not even a kid. He's probably a 50-year-old guy who hates his life, has no wife, has no kids, or he does and they don't talk to him anymore. And he comes on my page and he goes, well, this guy's got 180,000 followers. I'm going to go ahead and troll him. So he does. And that is completely fine. I love trolls. No problem. But when you're so stupid, you don't understand what I'm doing to you. All I'm doing, and so this is really, I'm going to even tell this idiot what I'm doing to him. I hope he has the balls to come on. I hope he does, because he thinks there's some giant flex that because I pay for advertising, that somehow that's stupid to do on this page. Listen, let me explain something. I don't make investments that are poor. Never have in my life. I don't do stupid stuff like invest into Facebook and pay for something that's not going to provide some sort of dividend in return. Okay. So let's be transparent. In 3 years, I've put $30,000 into this site from an advertising perspective, 30 grand. And that is taking posts that are extremely large, or when I have Eli Crane on, and that's making an advertising budget for my site. And I will take 10% or 12% or 13% of my overall anticipated net revenue and put that into marketing. And anyone that doesn't do that, you're a fucking clown. And you don't even know what you've got. So this guy's got 30,000 followers, and he believes because certain posts have 75 interactions or likes that somehow that's a failure for a page with 180,000. Go look at Ben Shapiro's live show the next time he's live. He's got 2 million followers. And I have a higher yield of percentage on my live shows than he does some nights.
How many does he have on live?
It just depends. There's some nights where the algorithm is doing really well and there's not a lot of live shows on. He'll do 800, 900 people. Benny Johnson will get 2,000 sometimes. But the fact that we consistently have a very, 150, 200 count live show at 8:30 at night, 8 o'clock at night, it's not bad. Yeah, Ice, come on the page. There he is. There's that little twat waffle.
What?
No, hold on a second. Let me deal with this guy. Ice, I will pay you right now to Venmo $5,000 cash if you come on live for 30 minutes and debate me on any topic of your choice. $5,000 to Venmo. Because you can't pay for engagement, dipshit. You can go ahead and pay for boost. You can pay for likes. You can go ahead and pay for exposure. But to have people actually click into your post and engage with it, they don't do all your posts, you moron. That's not the way it works. You can engage with a certain video. And as you pointed out, my videos don't have a lot of interaction. So therefore, if I was paying for it, they would, you fucking twat waffle. Why don't you come on? What are you so scared of, dude? You've got a mind. You've got 17 pages. This is now your 8th page that I've banned. And the hilarious thing about this whole thing, Ice, fuckhead, whatever your name is, dog, well, I don't even know. There's so many different pages. The most ludicrous thing is that the only thing I'm doing is trolling you right back to get you to post 10 times or more, because then you qualify for a top fan badge. And once you do that, I get access to your entire friends list, all your followers, which means that I can advertise against them. But you don't understand things like that because you're an idiot. So all I did was to get all your 30,000 followers where I can go ahead, and not all of them are going to be liberals. There's going to be a lot of people, your haters, who are now going to come over here and watch me instead of you. But you don't have anything. You don't have a show. You don't even have a face because you're too much of a coward. So what do? You create multiple accounts. You troll people. You get your own little engagement, and you're terrified to come on because you're not a man. You're just a guy who sits in his basement. You don't even have a picture. You don't even have an identity. It's pretty pathetic. So when you're ready, $5,000. Come on. Let's see what he says. You banned me the moment I started pointing out you paid for. No, I didn't. I banned your first account when you would not come on. The moment you said, nope, I'm not coming on because you said my people would dox you. Dude, you're a nobody. Nobody. Who are they going to dox? They don't even know who you are. You're an anon no-name account that does nothing. You've never made a penny off this. Then you accuse me of constantly staying on Facebook. Well, that's because I get paid to do this, fucktard. I get money from people like you. I make a living doing this. I've got a 5,700 square foot house on 2 acres because of people like you. I got a hot wife. I got gorgeous kids. I live the fucking life of luxury off of people like you. So yeah, I put $5 a day into advertising. Oh, it's really, I'm sorry you're so poor that you can't afford $5. If you did, you might have more than 30,000 followers after 10 years.
Oh, he's been on for 10 years?
Oh, dude, he's got like 17 pages. The guy's he's a troll. That's all he does. So he's going to go ahead and post this on his page. Good. I hope your followers come over because all they're going to do is boost my engagement even more. That's how I do it, dipshit. I go ahead and pay $5 and I go ahead and advertise to people like you so you come on here and troll my page and all it does is get me paid. And then what's even greater than that is you share a video in Saudi Arabia or a place over in freaking South Korea or the Manila, go ahead and pick it up, and I get royalty rights off that. How much did you make off of Facebook last month? I'll tell you how much I made if you tell me. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Why don't you come on? Let me give
yours
you
is probably much bigger.
I'm pretty
Just letting you know that.
I'm pretty confident. Here's the number. Everybody here knows that I run ads. Most of the people who have showed up to the show know I have ads. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I just told everyone how much I've spent on ads. Why can't you just come on? Show me what you're all about, man. Show me how tough you are. It is $5. I haven't lied to you yet. I just told you I spent $30,000 in my first 3 years. Since then, I've backed off because my organic engagement's at 98%. My ratio is less than 0.2% of unfollows to follows.
Oh, I can't see his comments.
She knows. She handles the records. You think she's going to lie for me? Trust me, anything she can do to embarrass me, she does often. $5 a day, bro. That's all I spend. I've got no reason. Here's the thing. Come on live and I will actually pull it up and I'll show you. I've got no reason to hide it from you. I don't lie. I just don't do it, bro. So that's how I know you're a fucking clown. All you are is a troll. And I want you to come on. I want you to have a conversation because you keep like showing these pages of what an amazing liberal you are and how Republicans suck. Come show me how stupid I am. Come have a conversation with me about the topic that you care about most, and let's see what type of conversation we have. But I promise you this, you won't do that because you've never taken any initiative. All you do is troll, and you've got potential. You're an irritating guy. You could make money just on your trolling, but you don't even know how. You're too stupid. And I hate to say it to you, man, but you're a knucklehead. Because you know what you should have done is you should have come on here. Then you should have reposted it to all your followers. And you could have said, well, look what I did to this Republican. Look how embarrassed he is. But you don't have the capabilities, and you know that. So what you're good at is trolling, and that's all you're good at. And the nice thing about that is that can give you a job as a jizz mopper, or you can be on Facebook and make no money off of it because you don't have the potential to do so.
So he doesn't think you can market.
Oh, he doesn't know what I do for a living. He has no idea.
Say,
he has no idea how much I make.
Considering.
No. Hold on a second. He just said you blocked me so you can get engagement from me. No. You're not listening. See, this is the thing. You still got to take the shit out of your ears. Once you post 10 times on Facebook, you go ahead and you qualify as a top fan. You should understand this. But it allows me to go ahead and market to your followers once you do that. It shows a level of engagement that you have with my page, and you go ahead and fall into my marketing category as people who follow you or those who look like similar audiences. If you knew anything about advertising on Facebook, you would know this. The moment you do that and you post 10 times with me, and that rapid of a clip, you open up your followers to me. So now I expand my overall network reach, which is why it's at what? What did you see? 9 million? Last month, it was at 16 million, my overall reach. My network size of advertising is 280 million people because of clowns like you that come on and spam my page, and I milk you along. I get paid for every time you post. So once I get your friends list, I don't give a shit. I just block you because all you're doing is wasting time. All you're doing is mucking the thread. But if you want to have some dialogue, you want to have some conversation, I'm here for you. See, you just don't understand. You don't understand how it works. You don't understand the Facebook algorithm. That's why you're at 30,000. And that's why you'll be there forever.
It was at this moment that Nathan knew he fucked up.
Bro, you're lightweight. You're not even in the same realm. You know, when I first started, I was all about engaging with guys like you because I would have done whatever I could. I mean, anything I could to get recognized, considering how much conservatives are being blocked. And you don't even put that into the equation. Instead of you going, wow, you've been here for 3 years, you got 180,000. Even if you spent money, the fact that Facebook was blocking conservatives from growing for years, that's pretty impressive. No, you can't even show that much. You got to come in here and you got to take your pathetic little peen and rub it up and down my walls and expect me to be impressed. Dude, you're not listening. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
I can't read any of his shit.
Well, that's because he's an idiot. And I wish he wasn't. Clown, listen to me. You don't understand. I can block every one of your pages, but once you post a certain amount, I don't care about your piddly little 5,000 pages. Those are your alt accounts because everyone blocks you because you're a twat. I wanted the 30,000 account. Those are the people that I want. I got that. And the moment I got that, I blocked you. You don't even understand. It's not about you. It's your followers. You don't even understand. It's like explaining molecular fusion or splitting atoms to a person who thinks the smallest matter on earth is a grain of sand. You just don't get it. You're as interesting to me as a clogged toilet is to a plumber. I deal with guys like you all day long. And you think you're so smart, and you're not. Dude, I'm not even mad. I just know that my viewers love it when I take after idiots. And you're easy, dude. Once again, $5,000 cash to your Venmo. $5,000 cash to your Venmo if you come online and talk to me 30 minutes, debate me on any topic. And if you win, and I'll let the viewers decide. You know what? You can bring on people that you love, and everyone can vote and see. But dude, it's not going to last that long because, first of all, you're never going to come on because you have no stones. You don't have any guts. I'd frickin' wreck you. I would let you talk for 29 minutes and 30 seconds, and it would take me 30 seconds to dismantle your entire argument. And you know that. So, once again, come on, or you're going to get popped. By the way, you've posted 10 times on this count. How many followers does this have? Like 200, 300? Oh, here he goes. After I pointed out that you had shit engagement, you blocked me, and you did it while you were on someone else's page, so you got zero engagement from me. What?
That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any... What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? I don't think you understand how this works. See, this shows me you've never made any money off Facebook. You do this for a living and you don't make any money off of it? Why the fuck do you do this if you don't get paid? Is it just, what is it? Is it an ego thing? Is it to make up for this? Is it no girlfriend? What is it that makes you think that this is something special? How is this helping that ICE is a terrorist organization? How is this helping your liberal cause? Do you think that this hurts me doing a show like this? Because all it does is make people laugh. Do you think this is going to gain you followers? Do you think you'll post this on your page and you're going to somehow come out looking good? Because, dude, this is open mic night, and you've got a chance to come on here and embarrass me, but you won't. So here's the thing, ICE. You've posted 10 times on this account. So whatever piddly little followers you have on this account, this 9th account of yours, I'm going to get those for advertising too. And if you don't come on, I'm going to block you here. And then the next account you come on, I'm going to do the same thing there. And then you can go onto your page and you can go ahead and tag me and all that stuff. And that's fine, because all that's going to do is give me more people. But all you got to do is have a sack. My wife has more freaking bravery and courage than you do.
You sure it's a guy?
No, he's not. Well, he might be, I don't know, he might be transgender. I don't know.
Or non-binary.
Well, of course. I seriously doubt he's cisgender.
Could be a rainbow-spotted unicorn.
He probably is 64 genders. You know that. Come on.
Maybe his pronouns are J, G, and Jem.
Probably. I'm just waiting for him. $5,000, dude. $5,000. I mean, dude, it's $5,000. How can you not take that? Every single person here, ask my wife. Olivia, will I pay him?
Yes.
30 minutes.
Yes.
30 minutes. You haven't done that since you bricked, someone bricked in your mouth on the corner. That's a lot of money, bro. $5,000. All right.
All right.
Ban him. Ban him. Just keep banning him. He comes in again, ban him.
I can't see any of his comments.
Yeah, he doesn't have any guts. He's like, he thinks
I wonder if this is the same dude that comes on Rebel every once in a
No,
while.
no. This is just some rando. This is a rando who saw my post, got triggered, then comes on and goes, "You're triggered. You pay for engagement. You run a business, and you actually pay for marketing." Yeah, it's just,
that's the whole point. That's what marketing is.
I just wish I could show him my paychecks. But then you know what he's going to say? "Oh, it's photoshopped."
Well, considering you're a VP of marketing and you've worked for multi-million-dollar companies,
It doesn't.
you have
Billion,
really no idea.
billion.
Oh, excuse me, billion.
Billion?
You have no idea what you're doing.
It's okay. Maybe we should just give him a tour of the house. I'm sure my guest bedroom is the size of his apartment. $5,000. Call in, dude. You know what? That would be the biggest own in the. You come out and you just sit
I'll
there.
pretend to be ICE. I could use the money.
Dude, seriously, he won't do it. Anyway, just ban him. Go ahead and pull ICE's trigger. Get him out. Pop smoke. All right, everybody. Phone lines are open. He will be coming back all night. This guy's got more accounts than he has common sense. So
Open mic night. Kevin, that's you. Dude,
Anybody-
call in, Kevin.
you want to call in? It's here. It's your topics. We're not going to stay here all night long. We've got business to do. You know,
We've got a tropical storm coming our way.
we do. We got to shelter up for that because that's going to be a bad one. So
And we're right in the path. It just out of the blue this morning was like,
Judy Vincent's wearing her.
I told her.
Her Dumb Nation hoodie. I got to get that on the site.
Yeah, she told me she was wearing it. I said, take a picture and send it. We want to see it.
You know, I just wish people could flex on things that actually, he didn't try to go after my looks. Well, no, Rhonda, this guy's got 30,000 followers. He's got a respectable page. But he doesn't know what to do with it. And that's the thing. Is like, dude, like if this guy just would have been respectful and come in and say, "Listen, I disagree with you. I don't like you, whatever. What are you doing? Are you making money?" Yeah, I am. Because every time I tell people what I make on Facebook, even some of the bigger names, they're like, "Dude, how the fuck do you make that much money on Facebook?" It's not hard, but you have to invest. I mean, that's what a business is. That's why I don't invest in Twitter. I don't invest in Rumble. I don't invest in Instagram. I don't invest in YouTube. And that's why I have a piddly following.
Christian just said some of his pages in Arabic or something like that.
The guy's just a punk. He's just a punk. And he's listen, this is just like Justin. What the hell was that guy's name? One of my first stalker trolls. You guys remember that guy? Justin.
Dusty Dinkleman?
Dusty Dinkleman after I named him. Yeah, that guy was the same way. Just, completely just unfucking ruly. Had nothing. Hold on, Maureen. All right, Maureen wants to talk about something. Hey, Maureen, good to see you, sister. Let me see if I can get you on. Hold on. Right, there she is. Hey, Maureen, how are you, buddy?
All right, how are you?
I'm good. What do you think of the troll tonight? Not bad.
Yeah, they like to blitz in, but they'll never call in.
No, they won't. They're scared.
Cowboys.
The guy could make so much money off that. I mean, he could post that, take that video, cut it up, and say, "Look at how irate this old guy is, and how frustrated he is." But no, they don't have the presence of mind. What do you want to talk about tonight?
There was another guy that posted as veteran trash talk or something like that. But just was that one thing with his little follow there. I didn't click it, of course, but I wonder if it's the same guy.
Oh, I hope he keeps showing up, man. I love it. There's nothing better. There's nothing better than having these guys showing up. Oh, wait a second. This message to other page owners: when you come across a page like the Don't Unfriend Me Show that tries to say they're better because they have lots of views on their page, make sure you go to their About section. 9 times out of 10, you'll see they're paying for engagement about bragging. See, this is the thing. And I love this because this is going to get people to just follow my page. In fact, I'm not even going to block. I'll do that. Hit OK. This is fantastic. I love these guys. But see, what's funny is that this guy's so lowbrow that he doesn't even post it on the page that has all the followers. He posted it on a page that has like 127 followers. Nobody's going to see it. Anyway, Marie, what do you want to talk about? I'd rather talk about you.
Well, I had posted on your video about the plane crash.
Yeah,
I
remember
had
that.
some of the information wrong.
I didn't say it was wrong. I don't know if we're on the same page as the information that I have versus the information that you have. So the one thing that I was kind of like scratching my head on was the location of the crash as you stated it. And maybe we can like walk through that first. And see if I can understand it.
County, South Carolina.
Right.
Indian,
so whatever
it was in that county.
So you're saying the crash was in South Carolina, or he popped and ejected in South Carolina?
Both.
Okay,
But
help me understand. Help me understand.
Okay.
I don't
We were
understand.
in Charleston, North Charleston, which is by the airport.
Yeah.
And the plane crashed, like, I think you said it was 80 miles away.
Okay, so my understanding is anywhere from a range of 2 miles to 10 miles from the joint base and the airport. 2 miles north is what all the newspapers said. 10 miles north is actually what was reported on the air traffic control call that I showed you. And that is where the initial eject took place. So, eject took place at that. And then from there, the plane flew 80 miles to wherever the town, Indiana town or something like that, where it crashed.
Indiana something or other town in Williamsburg County.
Right.
But in that interview, I thought pilots tried to stay with their planes until they could, kind of point them where they want them to go down, so they don't end up crashing into a school.
Did you watch the video?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I thought I addressed that, but it might have been overlooked because I was really subtle about it, because the actual system that's inside the F-35, I can't talk about it. But I will tell you, okay, so what is the one big thing about helicopter crashes and plane crashes that are always a big concern? Just so you can help the listeners.
Crash into civilians, specifically, schools and such.
Correct. So obviously casualties from secondary impacts and things like that weren't landing at an airport, right? So an uncontrolled plane going off course because it loses pilot loses consciousness, like that Learjet, et cetera, then it goes down and it goes into a populated area, which we saw about that helicopter a couple weeks ago. What if I told you that there was a system so advanced in a particular vehicle that would anticipate a catastrophic engine failure or hydraulic failure or loss of consciousness of a pilot or an eject, and would do whatever it could to maintain glide slope at the longest possible matter of seconds to go ahead and fall or control crash into an unpopulated area?
I'd be impressed.
Well, a Tesla can do it.
Okay.
So my point is that if there's technology like that in a Tesla that can avoid an accident coming up in front of it, or recognize that somebody falls asleep at the wheel, assume that there's something in an F-35, or possibly, I mean, I don't know, that could do exactly what I just said, and give that pilot the best possible chance of escape from a horizontal, stable as possible position for ejection, which is ideal. Actually, almost like at a 7-degree upward angle of the nose is the best, but give them the most optimal time to eject effectively in a nanosecond type decision where they may not have the time at 1,000 feet going 400 miles an hour to make that conscientious decision to push a button or be hitting too many G's to reach it. So the F-35 will recognize these invariable numbers, possibly, and make a decision to eject the pilot, and then also do whatever it can to maintain its altitude, its glide slope, as long as it can to stay away and out of anything that has been marked as a casualty high density area.
I got a question for you.
Hold on, I want to hear what Maureen says, then you can go. Go ahead, Maureen.
That makes sense.
Okay. So I can't confirm or deny any of those things because that would be technology that would be so far advanced that nobody should be talking about it at a civilian level. But as a hypothetical, that's something we can talk about as long as we don't, go into too many specifics. But I can tell you openly that the F-35 has a very high level of AI technology that can make split seconds decisions on its own in order to protect the pilot and protect the hardware and the aircraft. Okay. Oh, God, look at this guy. Living Blue in Georgia. Hold on, Maureen, I got to get it. Facts for anyone who cares. He said I was tricked. Well, someone just banned this fool. I'm done. You're not getting, nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares that you're gay, first of all. Nobody cares that you're living blue in Georgia because Georgia's blue, by the way. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if you heard the news. Nobody cares, dude. If you can't come on here and have a conversation with me, nobody's going to give you the time of day. You're not going to gain a follow. Nobody's going to jump ship because of you. Because everyone bases this show on having enough courage to come on live and have a conversation, and nobody respects you. Nobody. There's not one person in this entire chat who's on a page of mine that will respect your ass because you're too much of a pussy to come on the show. So, dude, no one's going to read that because now I'm just going to have you banned. Every time you come in here, you're just going to get banned. And that's honestly what you deserve. If you're going to act like a bitch, I'm going to treat you like a bitch. So someone banned Living Blue in Georgia. Congratulations for being a hero. Thanks for coming out when you have 246 days to celebrate where you put your dick. Liv, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
It was for you because Kevin had a question from Rumble, and because I watched your show earlier and he watched your show, and did you say that the pilot ejected while it was inverted, or did I miss that?
No, because then he'd be most assuredly not be feeling good.
Okay.
So my understanding is from some of the firsthand account, because I guess there was visuals of this, and this is eyewitness testimony, whether this is true or not, but these were the reports that came from Axios. It came from Daily Mail and a couple of other places. Also, Al Jazeera and BBC had it too, is that the plane reportedly was inverted at one point at about 100 feet off the canopy of the trees. So understand is that if you, I want you to imagine, and I already explained the system and the OGIB system and how those engines work and how they're susceptible to lightning strikes and lightning storms. And the failure rate of the F-22 and the F-35 based upon this engine is that if there was a situation where there was mechanical function, if hydraulics went out, if flaps essentially locked, or this person lost turbine failure, whatever took place, something happened that aircraft recognized a level of failure that it was unrecoverable at some point, or the pilot did. It does have the ability for the F-35 to eject the pilot on its own. It has an autonomous decision that it can do that in a case where the pilot is susceptible to be pulling too many Gs, if the pilot is going to have a collision, if the pilot is going to lose catastrophic failure to the aircraft. Those decisions will be made without the pilot's input. We're not going to know that until the investigation. But no, it's not my understanding that he injected while inverted. It's my understanding that something happened, and he either popped or the plane popped him from where he was at. But let's also remember that thing going 60 seconds, 52 to 63 seconds for that 80 miles at that speed roughly. It would have taken a minute, a little bit over, a little bit below for it to do that. And that's not unrealistic. The question is if it was at 1,000 feet, that doesn't give you a lot of glide slope if it's catastrophic engine failure. But if it did lose power, or it did lose communication, if it did lose hydraulics, if it lost propulsion, it's very possible that it popped him and continued to work on getting it back, because there are systems in place that I just described that would ensure that that plane would be as safe as possible before it made impact. Just something to think about.
Why didn't the other plane that was with him, because I understand there was a second plane, why didn't it stay so that they knew when where the plane went down?
Well, you have a choice. So let's say it's you and Olivia in a plane, okay? And Olivia goes down and she pops chute, right? So you're going to do what? You're going to look for the canopy. What are you going to do? You're going to follow the plane, or you're going to follow Olivia?
I have no idea.
You're going to follow.
I would think if they're parachuted, they would be okay.
Yeah, but that's not the case, because here's the thing. Most time when you eject, the chances of walking away unscathed from an ejection, it depends on so many different parameters. It's not okay, this is basically what you have. You have a glass canopy, roughly, that can withstand 30 millimeter rounds, okay? And that thing has to pop off in a millisecond and continue to handle the ejection process of that plane, handle the G-forces, handle the chute, handle the turbulent weather. All of those type of things all play into account. And then you're landing without any ability to manage that landing, as you are strapped into a harness and a seat. So when you go down, it's not a soft impact.
Yeah.
So
which explains why it's back with her.
Right. So exactly. So he becomes a human spring. So the chances of something going wrong, but you also, if you leave him, you're not going to know where he's at unless he has his beacon popped, unless the plane goes down next to him. What if he's unconscious and he can't pop his beacon? That tracker, which will tell him where they're at, he's going to get visual that canopy is open, because that's his first priority. First priority is he's the wingman. So he's going to see canopy, and if canopy looks good and he's full joy, he very well may go on. But it was a stormy day, and by that time he had lost the visual on the plane. And because it was under stealth, which it was operating, and he didn't flip the IFF transponder or turn stealth off, he's looking for a needle in a stack of needles. He's looking through pea soup and trying to find a plane that he doesn't have visual on. It's better to stay and go into a hover pattern over that chute until they have a lock on him, and then he squawks back to tower, and tower says return to base. That's what I would predict.
That makes more sense. Not being military, I couldn't sort it out. So,
well,
why did he call 911 instead of calling the base?
Well, he doesn't, because that's who you call, because the base at that point is not going to be able to get to him faster than an ambulance or 911. He was in a resi area. He went and landed in somebody's backyard. That person picked up the phone, do what I would do, and call 911. And, does he have a satellite phone on his person? Is he carrying overseas type flight sortie type stuff, which would be, a sidearm, some survival gear, a sat phone, things like that, basic antibiotics, basic 3 days worth of food, things like that, sodium tablets, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if he has that stateside. But overseas, and if he was doing sorties, he would have survival pack with him. But you just don't know. Did he have a cell phone on him? Who knows? But the point is that guy got on 911 and took away any question about getting some sort of emergency sent to him, I would assume, because it was already being done.
Right. Okay. All right. That makes a lot more sense. I could figure it out.
Good questions. I mean, no, it's really intuitive. And once again, I don't know if everything I'm saying is 100% accurate. And I want to be clear that I don't have the answer to every one of your questions, but I do. You have the guy on the phone saying, hey, my questions were this. Why did an air traffic controller get the IFF transponder? That's been answered. He was running under stealth. And you don't run an IFF when you're under stealth. My second is why did they lose profile of the plane? Well, because it's an extremely stealth plane and radar absorbent material. My next one is how did he pop and why did he pop? Was it a midair collision? Was it computer generated? Well, we got the understanding there. And then once I checked the weather report, then I started looking into the turbine and the engine system and how it processes and takes hydrogen from the air and separates it from the oxygen in order to create a super cool engine, non-freezing type fuel source, and also give them a hell of a lot more fuel rationing options for that process. But it is susceptible to lightning strikes and high static discharge. It makes me believe that this was a weather-induced crash, whether he ejected or the plane told him to eject, or the plane decided to eject remains to be seen, and we'll find that out with the flight recorder and ultimately eyewitness testimony based upon his wingman and himself.
Okay.
I do know one more thing that's interesting, Maureen, is that he was under guard when he was taken to the hospital. And not that that should alarm anybody, but you do that ultimately to either you suspect him of something that they knew, or you want to protect him to ensure anonymity and that nobody's getting a hold of him. I think it was the latter, because he was able to make comments through command and through some of the PR people, and they allowed that to take place. So it makes me believe that he's not under investigation from a criminal standpoint, but definitely under investigation from a CID and an FAA and a Class A crash, which means everybody's going to be looking into everything about him, his wingman, anybody who was on ground crew, anybody who was on flight command, people in NORAD. I mean, every person who was involved in this flight pattern and this op will be investigated under this crash. And the reason why someone else asked, why did they ground all of the F-35s? Well, because you don't know if this is a failure. You don't know if it is a strike. You don't know anything about it. And so you want to go ahead and take care of it. Hold on a second.
Is he back?
Ryan Samuels is ripping him apart. Hold on. So it goes, here's the video. It goes, I love Ryan Samuels. So ICE is a terrorist organization, goes, message to other page owners. When you come across a page like the Don't Unfriend Me show that tries to say they're better because they have lots of views on their pages, make sure you go to their About section. 9 times out of 10, you'll see they're paying for engagements they're bragging about. The page is currently running ads. And then Ryan goes, oh, never mind. You have 130 followers. I get it now. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's there's going to be a lot come out of this. I don't know what we'll see, but this is where we're at now, and a lot of it makes sense to me. I don't think it's in Cuba.
Okay.
A lot of people said that, right?
Yeah.
It was
sold it on the black market, I'm sure.
I know. Joe Biden sold it to go ahead and. So, somebody said EMT. I think they might mean EMP. A targeted electromagnetic pulse is kind of like direct energy weapons. In order to get that,
you've gotten a whole lot more than just the plane.
Yeah, and you know, you got to understand, to do an electromagnetic pulse, even direct energy weapons, the amount of energy it takes in order to do that. I mean, our technology is fantastic, but at times we're a little unrealistic with what we think we can and can't do.
Somebody asked, do you think it could have been sabotage? I highly doubt that, but
hold on. I've got a lot of people. Like, people are pissed at me.
Why?
I don't know, dude. Hold on. I got to read this. I just got an email from somebody, and I got to read it. I mean, I get a lot of emails. So here it is. It says, Meredith, and I'm not going to give her last name. You know, I watched one of your videos and you didn't sound that crazy. Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
In fact, I thought I think she says to myself, this dude is probably a bit smarter than the folks who call his show. So why is it that you lied to your followers about how we encountered each other?
What?
I don't know. I commented on someone else's page, and a week later, you came and replied to that comment by calling me a moron. I've never called anyone a moron. I call people maroon and like Bugs Bunny. I don't call people morons. That can get me banned, so that's not true. It's one thing to ignore when I point out that you get zero. I've actually, this is the psycho who has been stalking us all night. And her name is Meredith Staminos. It's a woman. Go figure that it's a crazy nutter who's a girl.
I told you.
Oh my God, it's a woman. Oh, bitch, please.
Or since she's a woman now.
Yeah, let's finish this email. This is great. I comment on someone else's page, and a week later, you came and replied to that comment by calling me a moron. It's one thing to ignore when I point out that you get zero engagement from us interacting on someone else's page. That's not true, but that's a whole nother thing. But to sit there and lie to your followers about me being some troll that happened across your post when you are the one who started trolling, that tells me you're not the honest and upstanding dude you think you are. What? Okay. But to sit there, oh, we already read that part. Sorry. I just figured it was a woman, so she's repeating herself. Sorry. It was. Nah, man. I'm not showing my face to you and your followers for $5,000. I don't need your money. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I don't need your money. I make money elsewhere. I think I have an idea how that plays out. The few $100 I get for posting stuff isn't something I set out for. Facebook just started paying. Even if you're honestly not some psycho extremist trying to dox me, I'm perfectly fine with none of your potentially insane followers knowing who I am. I hope you got the positive reinforcement you were looking for when you lied to your followers about our interaction, but it doesn't change that you and I both know how it really went down. I have no fucking clue who you are. I have so much engagement that I pay for, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I pay for so many people to interact with me. I'm so fucking busy that I don't even know what you're... Meredith, this is your entire world. And me, I don't even know who you are.
Kevin said you're a Karen attractor.
Meredith.
It's just like freaking shoot, they just come to
Meredith, let me tell you what I read on your email. And this is me being as humble as possible. I really thought you were good looking. And then I heard you talk. And then I thought you were smart. And I kind of had a crush on you. I got to admit, I got a thing for beards, and my dad was a little bit of a beta, but you're an alpha, and I really kind of like the bad boy thing. Saw your tattoos, and I got a little hot under the collar. And then you didn't give me the attention I needed. And now my 4 names are going to come after you because I am a psycho biznatch. And I'm not only going to go ahead and troll you with 9 different accounts, post 37 times in less than an hour, I'm going to go ahead and expose my real name to you and send you an email because that's how desperate I've become. Would you like an autograph? If you want, I'll send you a nudie. You can go ahead and send me an email and I'll send you an autograph, okay? I'll be happy to do that. I'll even make you a birthday video if you want, Meredith. But seriously, that was the most desperate. If you would have just possibly have done
I'll
that.
have him wear the Marilyn Monroe white dress.
You should have just done that in the first place. And you know what I would have said to you? I feel like a dick and I'm sorry. If I did that to you and I really did that, I apologize. And here's the thing. I'll even do it now. If I truly, you're going to say that I called you a moron and I thought I called you a maroon, which is literally a Bugs Bunny reference. And if you take offense to that, then lady, I don't know what to tell you. But if I did that and you felt like I called you a moron, then that was a douchebag move and I apologize. You must have said something that triggered me for sure. And I apologize. The rest of it, go fuck yourself because you're a nutter. You're a complete, like we're not even dating. I didn't even get laid. Like, we didn't even have sex like when I was like 18 or something for me to like get anything out of this. This is depressing. Like, you're not even an ex-lover. Liv. She's not even someone who you can be jealous of, and she's acting like a jealous girlfriend.
She wants to speak to your manager.
Listen, Karen, I am the manager. Lady,
No, I'm the manager. Get that right.
The funny thing about this Meredith, and this is sad. This is stupid. This is so petulant. You know, it's so stupid. Here's the thing. I'm not a bad guy. And I am fairly well grounded. And I'm not a fucking Trumpy. I don't believe in the stolen election. I don't believe in J6. I don't believe that Donald Trump is a messiah. I'm actually pretty well grounded. I go after cures constantly. I'm not a racist. I support the LGBTQ community. Just keep that shit away from my family. I'm pretty easy. I'm not that hard. But what really frustrates me is that you are now trying to shame me as someone who pays for engagement, which is a crock of shit. And everything that I've worked on in this page, I've worked for myself and I've invested in with my own money. It's ridiculous. So nobody wants to dox you. These people on this show, as the number is 130 on a Friday night, none of them would dox you because we don't do that stuff. We're not the ones that come to your house and put dog shit on your lawn or spray paint or light your city on fire. All we do is just choose not to mess with you. So we block you. We just get you out of our lives because we don't need it. And either do I. So if you want to come on, nobody's going to dox you. In fact, I'll block out your face and nobody will see you if you want to have a conversation. Okay. Maureen, what do you think about this whole damn thing?
I think the entire world has gone nuts and is offended at life. I mean, no matter what happens, somebody's offended. I'm like, hello? Back when I was a kid, it was sticks and stones would break my bones and words will never hurt me. And we went on with life. But we can't have that anymore.
No. Jason says she's using Matt to get to Olivia. I just sent her an email back, says, are you hot? Listen, Meredith, first of all, your last name is Stamenos, so you're probably Greek. And my Yaya and Papu would tell me to be a little nicer to you if you are Greek. So I come from the Callias family. So if you are Greek, we at least have that in common. I think it's great that you're out. I think it's great. Dude, Ryan Samuel says, I'm here to chew gum and roast trolls, and I'm all out of bubble gum. Dude, leave her alone. Meredith, I'd love for you to come on the show. No hard feelings, whatever. We're just doing what we can do here. We're not as good as we want to be, but damn it, we're drinking milk. Olivia, we got any comments?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I took some cough syrup before the show, and I'm a little loopy. So I couldn't stop coughing. I hate cough drops, so I took some cough syrup, and now I'm like, whoo.
So, Maureen, what else is going on? What else you want to talk about? You got anything else for us to anything in the craw? Because you always have good stuff. If anybody wants to call in, here's the number. Hopefully Meredith will call in.
Kevin, that's pointing to you, Kevin.
What's that?
I said they don't have to show their face if that's a hang-up.
No, you know what? I have a new feature. Do you want to see what it is? No, it's not. It's not what you think. It's not. That sounded bad. So no, but hold on. Let me see. Let me figure out how to do this. Overlay. This is so cool. Let's see. Oh, who's calling in? Oh shit! Somebody was just calling in. Who was it? Oh, God, wouldn't it be great if it was Meredith? I wish she would call in. I hope it is. I don't want her to be mad. Do people think I get off on that? Oh, it's Isaac. Oh, come on, Isaac. Don't be stoned. You can't be stoned or I'm not going to let you here. Isaac, are you stoned?
No.
He's stoned. Son of a biatch.
Oh, he's got his teddy bear.
What's going on, Isaac? How you doing, Santa? Hey, buddy. What's Isaac? Isaac, how you doing? He's baked.
Oh my gosh.
Are you drinking or smoking tonight?
Cinnamon,
Oh my Lord.
bacon.
All right. Now I told you you got to be somewhat sober if you're going to be on here. I can't have you on here. Now look at this. This is a new feature. Isaac, hold on. This is the new feature in the show. I can blur you out. Isn't that cool? So there's Isaac.
Yep.
When I ask you to call in, it's serious. How are you, Santa? Can you tell me something new and exciting? Anything I need to know? Isaac, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
The
Is there anything?
F-35 is fascinating.
Okay. Is there? You sounded like Harry Carey. It's fascinating. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about tonight, or did you just want to call and let us know that you've been partaking?
The F-35.
Yeah. What about the F-35?
Dude, I worked on jets, okay? F-14s, okay?
Yeah. Tomcat. Yeah, I know the Tomcat.
And transponder, OFF position, A799, pilot error, whatever. He's the commander of the jet. If he got a punch, he's got a punch. It don't react to the stick. It don't react to the stick. Okay? And $1 million don't matter. It's the pilot's life, okay?
That's right.
In my opinion, okay? Personal opinion. It's the
agree with
pilot's life. It's his aircraft, okay? And
Yeah.
whatever he decides to do at that point when he's aboard is his choice.
Correct.
That's his decision, okay? He would choose to engage or not engage. It's the pilot's discretion, period.
Correct.
In the story. The pilot has ultimate discretion over the aircraft, period. In the story.
Yes, sir.
It's none of anybody else's decision but his, because his life is behind what he does and why he does it. Okay?
That's right.
All of us veterans, God bless us all, have served this country, and not for money, not for privilege, not for glory or anything else other than to protect it. Okay? And to see the people not picking up what we have hardly just begun to grasp. I mean, I got children, I got grandchildren, and God bless them, but I can't live their life for them, okay?
Right.
And that's up to them to pick up the torch and bear it, all right? We're all in this shit together. It's a big shit sandwich, and we all got to take a bite.
All right.
Okay.
So let me ask you, because someone asked me to ask you, when you were working on planes, were the wheels square?
No.
Okay, because I thought that was an old joke, and I didn't think that was very funny. Right. That was before the wheel was invented, from my understanding. So, did you have to twist the rubber band to make the propeller go? Just
all
right.
There were
pterodactyls. Isaac, here's my Land of the Lost, little leather harness made out of like palm fronds and okay. So here's the question. Out of the analysis that you heard about the F-35, am I full of shit or am I over target?
Oh,
what do you think?
On target. You are definitely on target. You are definitely on target.
All right. Well, good. Well, I love it when people agree with me.
Put the dude in there with the straw hat and go the screaming thing. It's like,
that was funny. That guy was so funny, man. So funny. I mean, hilarious. I couldn't believe it matched up with the goat. Like the decibel level, when I was doing the audio processing, the goat and his voice were like exactly same peaks and everything. I'm like, what? This has got to be a joke. It's got to be a joke.
No, it's scary.
Do you know Isaac?
Yeah, he's called a couple times when I've been on.
Isaac's amazing. They both are. This is like, two of my favorite human. Whenever I need to laugh, Isaac, you got anything you want to talk about other than that?
Watch out for Bigfoot.
Listen, man.
It's 3 months till Christmas. Are you ready?
Yeah, you got your shit together.
Did you get the naughty and nice?
You're not gonna.
Did
let me guess. You guys needed a new turbine for your sleigh, so you crashed that F-35, right?
No, I didn't. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
All right.
So what's the advice?
I keep up with everything, but there's the zombie cheeseburger apocalypse is some scary shit, man.
Well, first of all, someone said Isaac must be stoned. Let me clarify. Isaac is always stoned. Always. Like I've never seen Isaac sober. So look at him. He's either drinking a beer like this big, or he's stoned up. Here's the beer. Here it is. Where's this? I told you. Oh, it's a 40. Is that OE?
No, it's a 40.
It's a 40. What are you drinking? Ice House? Is that Ice House? Let me see that. Show me the front cover. Turn it.
Yes, it is wrong way.
Turn it the other way, Isaac. Keep going. It's Ice House. I knew it. I recognize that. I'm surprised you're not drinking Mad Dog 4040. All right. Isaac, we're going to cut you loose, man. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Peace out, brother.
See ya.
Right, Isaac.
See ya, Isaac. All right. Listen, phone lines are open, everybody. If you want to call in,
Yes, please call in.
I wish, you know what? Can I be honest? I don't like doing that. Like, what I'd rather do is help Meredith make money. I really would. I would like to show her what $2.50 a week can do for her page. And, you know, it sucks. But, you know, she is right on one occasion. It's hard to get engagement. There are so many competitions going on. I've really had maybe 25 things go viral. That's 1 million plus. And most of the time, about 30,000 people view my videos, and I maybe get 500 to 1,000 likes. It's hard. It's funny. I went on Megyn Kelly. She was live with Dan Bongino, and it was stuck on like 60 likes for like 30, 40 minutes. It's tough out there. So Meredith, I'm going to say it one more time. I apologize if you think I called you a moron. I don't, it's not, I insulted you once you were on my show and you had pissed me off. But that time, I usually don't do that. But if you need anything, I'd be more than happy to help you. And we would love to have you come on because we don't care about your political affiliation. We don't care if you're straight. We don't care what color you are. We just want to have a conversation. So if something's on your mind, maybe you'll get comfortable. You said you liked the show at one point. I hope you watch it again. I'm not crazy. I don't tolerate shit from people. And I have a feeling you're the same way. So let's move on. Maureen, you got anything else for us?
I do, actually.
Okay, go
ahead. You know how everyone freaks out whenever their child tells them, I am, fill in the blank, liberal, gay, trans, whatever. Instead of reacting, we need to start talking to our kids and say, why? Why do you feel? Why do you think? Where's this coming from? And then help them deal with whatever the why is.
Yes.
Because a lot of times it's all my friends are doing it. This adult told me that I was because of XYZ. And too many people are reacting instead of stopping to say, what is it you're going through?
Do you think, and Olivia, this is to you, because I think this. I think the entire problem with our society today, and every generation thinks, that Elvis was Satan, and, yeah. Then Boston was a bunch of devil worshippers and all these other stuff. But I think we allow our children to remain juveniles for far too long against societal expectations. And what I mean by that is there was a video I was watching earlier today. Somebody posted in Dumb Nation. It was poignant. And I've made the point before. But if you go over to Israel, hi, Kitty. You go over to Israel and you look at the children there, they're fairly much adults at 12. They are anticipating entering military service. They understand that. They have seen things and done things that are way past what adolescence would curtail. And I think we allow children to be children for too long. And that's kind of always been my thing. And that's the way I've raised my kids, is I expose them to adult stuff very early, very quickly, in moderation, with explanation and guidance. And I believe that my children are very mature for their age. However, the one thing I didn't do, which was also a point in this video, which I thought was fantastic, is that we sexualize our kids at a very young age. Is we allow them to see things, dress a certain way that is way off kilter, doing twerking videos and duck face videos, and let me show you my morning makeup routine in a towel. I mean, some of the shit that's on TikTok is insane. So I think what we do is we we take a very mature prose, which would be to help them get out of adolescence quicker and move towards, pre-stages of maturity. And we give them something that requires a whole bunch of maturity by sexualizing them when they are way too fucking young to understand what they're involved in. And I think that is the best way to describe it to people when we say, stay away from our kids, leave our kids alone, is that we are trying to help them grow up at a pace that's more advanced than they're probably ready for. But what we certainly know is that they are not ready for sexualization and decide who they are for the rest of their lives. Liv, I want to get your perspective. That was a really long comment, but I thought it would be a good topic to bring up.
Well, I think it's a popularity thing too, because that's what it was with Hayden. Is her entire grade thought they were lesbian or gay or bi, and they had no idea what it meant, but that's what they were because it was the cool thing to be gay. Yeah. And then they grew up a year, and it's not cool anymore, so they're not gay anymore. So it's all about a popularity thing and what's cool. And
doesn't that trivialize homosexuality and the LGBTQ community and what they're working for?
It does. And a lot of these things that liberals and the agendas they have that they're pushing for are having the opposite effect. It's like doing the impeachment of Donald Trump has made his numbers go up. It's having the opposite effect of what they want, because kids, when they're in middle school, they're not thinking on adult levels, which that is a topic should be adult maturity. And they're not there. And they don't know how to, I guess,
sort it out,
perceive that and really understand what it means to be gay or what it means to be trans. They don't get it. They're very impressionable, and they just don't understand what that means. And so they're trying to make these decisions going through puberty with hormones raging through their body, and they don't even know. I mean, I remember being that age. I didn't even know what it was to be a girl, and I'm a girl. It's like,
wait a second, what?
Well, I didn't even know all the hormones that are going through your body.
Somebody told me. I
was a girl.
I didn't know. I just thought you were extremely not well endowed.
Yeah, there we go. That's funny. So it's just...
God. See how she is to me? It's the way it's like, hey, real quick,
what?
Dine Lay says, I like. And that's the translation. And I just wanted to say, I like to. Right back at you. Doesn't speak English. That's okay. Welcome to the Donut and Friendly Show. I don't know where you're from. Maybe Malaysia or Sumatra, somewhere. Do you tell me? So you didn't know about that stuff, but was that because? But were you brought up to be mature?
No.
See, that's the problem. You got. It's. I'm not saying it's an either or an and or game, but. I mean, you should focus on maturity quickly, because kids are going to be exposed to things that they need to be mature to handle: drugs, alcohol, sexual relationships. And I think it's okay for a child to explore those things before they're 18. I really do. And a lot of people go, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that, Matt. Well, my kids are going to be 16 years old, and I am going to have to come to the harsh reality that from the maturity level, they're advanced. And they may have to go experience some of these things like I did at a very considered to be young age, 16 years old, to start dating and exploring some of these things. And I'm okay with that. It's better than 12. It's better than 10 and 6. Maureen, you're a mom. What do you think?
I was never fortunate enough to be a mother, but I
thought you were a mom.
helped raise nieces and nephews. No.
Shit. I thought you were, Maureen. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a dick. You have a cat. That's close enough.
I have no problem with it.
Is your cat sexually active? Did you have a talk with your promiscuous cat about being safe, because litters are not really good for younger cats? I'm sorry, Maureen. I'm a dick.
It's not a problem.
I thought
love
you had
children,
kids.
and I had hoped to adopt, but no, I think that's what I work with kids, and I try to take kids where they are and help give them the information they need to go forward. Mm-hmm. Whether they're in my class or whether, I have contact otherwhere. It's like I had a Girl Scout troop. But that's why I came up with why aren't we using the toddler question? You know how toddlers are always why?
Right.
Well, that's the best place to start with anything.
I agree. ask the why, right? I mean, I can't tell you how many times, listen, I agree with you 120%. I think we need to give children that responsibility to make decisions with guardrails, right? I don't think you should just give children an open lane with gutters on each side and say, throw the ball. No. But we can plug the gutters up and let them go ahead and get a couple spares and 7-10 splits and figure out that life's hard and you're not always going to throw a strike. I think that's fine. I think some guided mastery is probably one of the most important things. There's a video that I've shown on the show before. By the way, Ann Gedney, don't think I don't see you. You came back again, even after a very tough conversation with me. And I give you a lot of respect. So congratulations on coming back. But this is, well, actually, I'm just going to show it because this is a good one. And this is a inspirational video, and it's called Self-Efficacy. And it's called Touching the Snake. Now, don't all you pervs out there. It's not what everyone's like, holy shit, I got to get ready for this one. No. But it is an exceptional TED Talk. And it really explains how everybody has potential to be great at something. Like, the best way I can describe it for you is that I was talking to my daughter. And we were at now this, whether you like this story or not, I don't care. This is who I am with my kid. She's 13 years old. And something came on about LSD. And it was Greg Gutfeld. We were watching The Five, and Greg Gutfeld talked about LSD. And Greg Gutfeld has experimented with psychotropic mushrooms and other unlocking type of euphoric style brain altering medications or hallucinogenics. And I will tell you that I flunked out of high school. Now, I did some things in high school that I can share with you one night, that the reason I got kicked out of and banned from California high schools, which is a whole nother story and a very fun story. The entire state of California banned me from going to school. And I'll be more than happy to share it with you some night. But there was a time before the military that I was dishonest. Now all my clearance is up and I'm pretty much free and clear, but I took hallucinogenic mushrooms and I was stupid and I was getting in trouble. And I will tell you that before I did that, I had severe ADHD to the point where I thought the earth was 1,000,000 miles around. That I thought that Russia, Europe, Africa, Antarctica, I mean, all of it was inside the United States. Like the U.S. went around the entire globe and all of those countries were inside. That's how naive I was. I didn't understand simple complexities at the age of 13 or 14. And the learning disabilities that I had, coupled with some of the trauma that I had, my brain was extremely underdeveloped. Now, the thing is I would take aptitude tests and IQ tests, and it was off the charts. But when it came to being able to focus and truly apply practical knowledge into experiential conversation and learning, I was horrendous. I was awkward. I was shy. I would be what a lot of people would consider to be dumb. I was held back from 5th grade, and then over the summer, I went and saw a private counselor. She came in and she said, this guy has a genius IQ. We're advancing him to 7th. I went into 7th, and I would get beat up every single day because I was this little punk-ass kid. And then they went ahead and pulled me out. I had to sit for over a semester with handicapped kids because they didn't have a class spot for me because they were oversold in California. I finally went back to 6th grade, and I had nothing but failures. I had a 12th grade reading level in 2nd grade. So I was a very smart kid, but I couldn't put it together. So me joining the military that summer before I did, when I took mushrooms, something unlocked. I can't describe it. I can't explain it to you. But the experience that when I did, and I'm not recommending this to anybody, but very Joe Rogan-esque I'm being right now, and that's because I truly believe that was a very large part of it. And then coupled with the discipline from the military, I unlocked a portion of my brain that helped me stay focused. I graduated first in my Intel class, second in my first C school, first in my following C school, and I got the billet of my choice wherever I wanted to go. I meritoriously advanced. I got honor man of boot camp. I did very, very well. And from there, my life I've been fairly successful in. I couldn't do public speaking. My first time I got up and did an intelligence brief, I almost shat myself. Now, I mean, I've sat in front of people and I've done 10,000 room auditoriums and done motivational speaking. I sit in front of people every night. So it's not about bragging. It's about telling you that even if you have been told your whole life that you're not good at something, or you believe you're not good at something, you can unlock that potential by getting out of your comfort zone and doing the things you don't want to do so you can get to the things that you were meant to do. That's what this video entails. And I hope I didn't set it up too much. Let's go ahead and watch it. I hope you enjoy it. We haven't done this in a while. Let's get to it. I will bring Maureen in just a second. And David Kelly, how to build your creative confidence. I might have a commercial first. We are most assuredly going to have a commercial first. Let me get Maureen in here. Copy. And paste.
I wanted to talk to you today about creative confidence. I'm going to start way back in the 3rd grade at Oakdale School in Barberton, Ohio. I remember one day my best friend Brian was working on a project. He was making a horse out of the clay that our teacher kept under the sink. And at one point, one of the girls that was sitting at his table, seeing what he was doing, leaned over and said to him, "That's terrible. That doesn't look anything like a horse." Right? And Brian's shoulders sank, and he wadded up the clay horse and he threw it back in the bin. I kind of never saw Brian do a project like that ever again. And I wonder how often that happens, you know? It seems like when I tell that story of Brian to my class, you see, a lot of them want to come up after class and tell me about their similar experience, how a teacher shut them down or how a student was particularly cruel to them. And they some kind of opt out of thinking of themselves as creative at that point, right? And I see that opting out.
Amy has a great point. Amy said, when I first started watching the show, I said something about a fear of public speaking. Matt said it wasn't that. It's the fear of looking stupid, not public speaking. That is exactly it. This will show, this is by far, this and the other video I show you guys about perseverance and getting through, this one is one of my favorites. I'm going to shut up and let you watch it. Sorry.
Happens in childhood, and it moves in and becomes more ingrained even by the time you get to adult life. So we see a lot of this, you know, when we have a workshop or we have clients in to work with us side by side. Eventually get to the point in the process it's kind of fuzzy or unconventional. And eventually these big shot executives whip out their BlackBerries and they say they have to make really important phone calls and they head for the exits. And they're just so uncomfortable. When we track them down and ask them what's going on, they say something like, "I'm just not the creative type." But we know that's not true. If they stick with the process, if they stick with it, they end up doing amazing things. And they surprise themselves just how innovative they and their teams really are. So I've been looking at this kind of fear of judgment that we have, you know, that you don't do things, you're afraid you're going to be judged. If you don't, you know, say the right creative thing, you're going to be judged. And I had a major breakthrough when I met the psychologist Albert Bandura. I don't know if you know Albert Bandura, but if you go to Wikipedia, it says that he's the 4th most important psychologist in history.
It's interesting. If you guys look at this real quick, that video, oh, you can't see it. Did you see like that diagram? He'll show it again, but it's all those drawings that he just showed you, and you saw the picture of Bandura, and you'll see the horse. The guy who drew that, I know him personally. He worked for Apple, and he built me like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the 4 quadrants of the colored mind, and I had all of these the learning curve and all of these graphs done on this giant page, and it looked like a draft. He's amazing. And one of Tim Cook loved it so much and saw it in one of my stores that on my interview for store leader, I brought it to him because you had to meet president, vice president, CEO in order to get store leader positions. And I brought it to him. He put it in his office. But I have it. And if anybody is a retail leader or a coach or whatever, it's one of the coolest things. And you can put it on a giant poster board, and it's all beautifully just hand designed. You'll see it later. It looks just like that. I've got a copy, and I'll send it to you. Anyway, here you go.
Freud, Skinner, somebody in Bandura. Bandura is 86, and he still works at Stanford. He's just a lovely guy. And so I went to see him because he's just worked on phobias for a long time, which I'm very interested in. He had developed this way, this kind of methodology that ended up curing people in a very short amount of time. Like in 4 hours, he had a huge cure rate of people who had phobias. And we talked about snakes. I don't know why we talked about snakes. We talked about snakes and fear of snakes as a phobia. And it was really enjoyable, really interesting. He told me that he'd invite the test subject in, and he'd say, you know, there's a snake in the next room, and we're going to go in there. And to which he reported that most of them replied, hell no, I'm not going in there. Certainly if there's a snake in there. But Bandura has a kind of a step-by-step process that was super successful. So he'd take people to this like two-way mirror looking into the room where the snake was. And he'd get them comfortable with that. And then through a series of steps, he'd move them, and they'd be standing in the doorway with the door open.
Dude, this guy is like, he's just one of those lovable people. You just want to hug him. And, you know, he looks like Barney Fife. He's got the mustache, and he looks like a Jewish actor that I can't remember, something Sigmund or Feldman, not Marty Feldman, maybe a little like Marty Feldman, but he's just got that New York Jewish look to him, and he's just got this great voice and this disposition, and you just love him. If you can sell yourself to people that quickly, it's a gift. And I fell in love with this guy immediately. I mean, he's just a good dude. Anyway, so
he'd be looking in there, and he'd get him comfortable with that. And then many more steps later, kind of baby.
He does not look like Fetterman, but maybe Fetterman after a diet and a brain transplant and a decent dress. I mean, this guy looks like frickin', you know, like Ralph Lauren compared to frickin' Fetterman.
They'd be in the room. They'd have like a leather glove, like a welder's glove on, and they'd eventually touch the snake. And when they touched the snake, everything was fine. They were cured. In fact, everything was better.
Liv, when you touch the snake, does it make you feel better?
Fine. These people who had lifelong fears of snakes were saying things like, look how beautiful that snake is. And they were holding it in their laps. Right? Bandura calls this process guided mastery. I love that term, guided mastery, right? And something else happened. These people who went through the process and touched the snake ended up having less anxiety about other things in their lives, right? They tried harder, they persevered longer, and they were more resilient in the face of failure, right? They just gained a new confidence. And Bandura calls that confidence self-efficacy. Right? The sense that you can change the world and that you can attain what you set out to do. Well, meeting Bandura was really cathartic for me because I realized that this, famous scientist had documented and scientifically validated something that we've seen happen over, for the last 30 years, that we could take people who had the fear that they weren't creative and we could take them through a series of steps, kind of like a series of small successes, and they turned kind of fear into familiarity. And they surprised themselves. The transformation is amazing. We see at the D School now all the time. People from all different kinds of disciplines, they think of themselves as only analytical. And they come in, and they go through the process, our process, they build confidence, and now they think of themselves differently. And they're totally emotionally excited about the fact that they walk around thinking of themselves as a creative person. right? So I thought one of the things I'd do today is take you through, and show you what this journey looks like. To me, that journey looks like Doug Dietz.
So that's the blueprint. It looks just like this, and it's so laid out perfectly. But I'll show it to you guys. I'll put it up on the site. But anyway, this is probably the most powerful part of the presentation when it comes to MRI machines. And it's pretty cool. There's a quick story I have with it. I have to tell it to you because I told it at Apple, and I got to tell it in front of the entire store leader group and senior manager group of Apple, and there was almost 2,000 people there, and it was pretty cool. So listen to the rest of this, and then I'll tell you what my daughter did, and see if Olivia remembers.
Doug Dietz is a technical person. He designs medical imaging equipment, large medical imaging equipment. He's worked for GE, and he's had a fantastic career. But at one point, he had a moment of crisis. He was in the hospital looking at one of his MRI machines in use when he saw a young family.
That's great.
His little girl. And that little girl was crying and was terrified. And Doug was really disappointed to learn that nearly 80% of the pediatric patients in this hospital had to be sedated in order to deal with this MRI machine. Right? And this was really disappointing to Doug because before this time, he was proud of what he did. You know, he was saving lives with this machine. But it really hurt him to see the fear that this machine caused in kids. About that time, he was at the D School at Stanford taking classes. He was learning about our process, about design thinking, about empathy, about iterative prototyping. And he would take this new knowledge and do something quite extraordinary. He would redesign the entire experience of being scanned. And this is what he came up with.
Watch this.
He turned it into an adventure for the kids. He painted the walls and he painted the machine, and he got the operators retrained by people who know kids, like, children's museum people. And now, so when the kid comes, it's an experience. And they talk to him about the noise and the movement of the ship. And when they come, they say, okay, you're going to go into the pirate ship, but be very still because we don't want the pirates to find you. Right? And the results were super dramatic. Right? So from something like 80% of the kids needing to be sedated to something like 10% of the kids needing to be sedated. And the hospital and GE were happy too because you didn't have to call the anesthesiologist all the time, they could put more kids through the machine in a day. So the quantitative results were great. But Doug's results that he cared about were much more qualitative. He was with one of the mothers waiting for her child to come out of the scan, and when the little girl came out of her scan, she ran up to her mother and said, "Mommy, can we come back tomorrow?" Right? And so I've heard Doug tell the story many times of his personal transformation and the breakthrough design that happened from it. But I've never really seen him tell the story of the little girl without a tear in his eye. Doug's story takes place in a hospital. I know a thing or two about hospitals. A few years ago, I felt a lump on the side of my neck. And it was my turn in the MRI machine. It was cancer. It was the bad kind. I was told I had like a 40% chance of survival. So while you're sitting around with the other patients in your pajamas and everybody's pale and thin, and you're waiting for your turn to get the gamma rays, you think of a lot of things. Mostly you think about, am I going to survive? And I thought a lot about what was my daughter's life going to be like without me. But think about other things. I thought a lot about what was I put on earth to do? What was my calling? What should I do? Right? And I was lucky because I had lots of options. We'd been working in health and wellness and K through 12 and the developing world, and so there were lots of projects that I could work on. But I decided, and I committed to at this point, that the thing I most wanted to do was to help as many people as possible regain the creative confidence they lost along their way. And if I was going to survive, that's what I wanted to do. I survived, just so you know. I really believe that when people gain this confidence, and we see it all the time at the D School and at IDEO, that they actually start working on the things that are really important in their lives. We see people quit what they're doing and go in new directions. We see them come up with more interesting and more ideas so that they can choose from better ideas. And they just make better decisions. So I know at TED you're supposed to have a change the world kind of thing, isn't that? Everybody has a change the world thing. If there is one for me, this is it, to help this happen. So I hope you'll join me on my quest. You as kind of thought leaders, it would be really great if you didn't let people divide the world into the creatives and the non-creatives like it's some God-given thing. And to have people realize that they're naturally creative, and that those natural people should let their ideas fly. That they should achieve what Bandura calls self-efficacy, that you can do what you set out to do, and that you can reach a place of creative confidence and touch the snake. Thank you.
If you look hard enough into the annals of history, you may find a TEDx talk of yours truly. You just may.
Really?
Yeah. At Apple. And they turned it into a TEDx. If you'll see if you
What is a TEDx?
TEDx is like a white trash version of TED.
What is the whole? Why do they call it TED Talks?
TED Talks are thought leader conferences and videos for inspirational and motivational type events, and you do something terrific and you share it, and usually people will share your presentation, and then TED Talk invites you to it, and you go to the major conference. And then there's TEDx, which are kind of remote talks. But the sales leadership conference that I did in Comcast, that talking about taking the Houston region from where we were and taking the Bakersfield store to #1 in the nation, #1 in the world in customer service and employee satisfaction. I was able to present my presentation in San Francisco, and wound up. See if you can find it. Just go look. Anyway,
I was going to say you should go do TED Talks.
I'm doing them every night when I do the show. So thanks. I'm not trying to blow you off. You know how I get with this type of stuff. I just want to share a quick story, and then we're gonna go, and Olivia can share this. I remember going in Bakersfield, and this is when I was still addicted to Oxy and hydrocodone, and I was about ready to go in to do an MRI. And this was after my 3-level fusion. This was after my discectomy. This was after my 16 injections into my spine, all of that. And I was going in to get a spinal cord stimulator implanted into my lower back with 2 metal rods going up my spine. And if it sounds painful, it is. And they had to go and take me into an MRI machine and to go do this surgery. And I reflected back when I was a young kid, and I was 7 years old. And I have a incision across my throat, which a lot of people can't see, but if I get close up, you can. And it's a scar about this big, and it's right across my trach. And the reason why is at 6 or 7 years old, I had a thyroglothic duct cyst on my neck lining that was tapping against my thyroid, and it created hyperactivity. And I'm talking to the point where I'd bounce off the walls, and I still do it today. My brain is wired that way. So they went in and they had to cut open my throat and remove the cyst from the outside in. And with that came a surgery and a 3-day stay at the hospital. And just fairly serious for somebody my age, because you don't want to play around with a thyroid with a young kid, especially who's going through puberty and such. So when I went into the hospital, I went next to the candy stripers area. And of course, even at that age, I was a promiscuous little shit. I saw a candy striper who I thought was hot. Her name was Sherry. Blonde hair, probably, 18, 19 years old, 16, something like that. And of course, I thought she was cute as a button. And I walked up to her and I said, I'm having my surgery. And she goes, well, we can't have that. We need to get you something. And I walked around and I saw this tiger. It's a stuffed tiger. And it was like a TY tiger, like a Beanie Baby, but it was full tiger, green eyes, and he was small and looked like a juvenile tiger would, and just was full of beanbag stuff and super soft terry cloth on the outside and just looked just like a tiger. And I was like, holy shit, I want that thing. So I'm like, I would love the tiger. And she goes, I meant like some candy. And I'm like, oh, because the tiger was like, $10, which was back then like 30. So I grabbed some Junior Mints or something. And of course, my mom took them away from me and she ate them because that's the way my mother was. And I went into surgery. Before I went in and I got the laughing gas and all that stuff, they told me everything that would happen and that I would count back from 100 and I wouldn't even get to 96 before everything would go dark. And I remember that moment vividly, the feeling of escaping reality and where complete light ends and darkness begins. That moment where you can't live in between those raindrops, but somehow you do when you go under. And you know that you hope you'll wake up, but there was a sense of fear as a kid as they put that mask on me. But before they did and they gave me my IV and everything, I remember they were going to come and put in the juice that would make me get loopy. Is that beautiful candy striper, Sherry, came in. And I knew I loved women at that point because when I saw her, my heart thumped at 100 miles an hour, and it certainly wasn't because I was going into surgery. And as she came up and she bent down and kissed me on the forehead, which I still remember that I love women because she kissed me on my forehead, she pulls out from behind her back a beautiful little tiger. And it's the one from the gift shop. And she goes, they're going to let you take this into surgery with you. Hold on tight to him. And she said, what are you going to name him? And of course, appropriately, I say Tigger. So as I go into surgery, I know that my tiger's there, but I know they're going to take it immediately. And obviously, because it's bringing in bacteria into the room. But I didn't know that then, and I fell asleep with that tiger. And then I woke up as quickly as I went to sleep. And as I did, the first thing I recall is my throat was on fire. I felt like I literally had like charcoal briquettes in my throat. And as I reached up and tried to touch, I felt a neck brace and some tape and some gauze around the incision. And immediately I start looking for Tigger. And Tigger is laying on my chest. And my mom and my dad are there. And I pick Tigger up, and he has the same neck brace and tape wrapped around his neck, which was done by Sherry, the candy striper. I never found her again. I never got to see her again after that. And I was hoping one day. And then I met the love of my life, and I'm very happy that I have Olivia versus Sherry. But it always stuck with me, that little tiger. And somewhere amongst the years, I lost that little tiger. But as I go back to the present day, and I remember when I was going to go into the MRI machine, I had shown little Hayden, my beautiful daughter, the same exact video of this. And she had a play to do. And obviously, it was very young and very unimportant, and she doesn't probably recall. But I showed her this video to teach her about self-efficacy and touching the snake and overcoming your fears. And she was so enamored by it. And then I told her my experience that I just shared with you when I had my surgery. And before I went to the hospital that morning, and she knew that I was trepidation, and she knew that I was scared. She knew that I had a heart blockage. She knew that I was horribly overweight. And that I was taking longer and longer to come out of these anesthesiologist-induced sleeps because my body was failing from the obesity and the not taking care of myself. And I was worried that one day I wasn't going to wake up from these events. She gave me her amazing stuffed dolly, which she carried around with her everywhere. And as she went and got some tape and some gauze and put it around its neck, and let me take the dolly with me to the event.
She was 3.
So when I tell you that you can achieve anything, the whole reason to achieve it isn't for success, isn't to have your own podcast, isn't to have a cool house, isn't to have a beautiful wife. It isn't to achieve some sort of grandiose stage that you have never eclipsed before in your life. It really is to get to a place where you can have people love you unequivocally. And if you can achieve that, and you haven't achieved that, may I beg for you to continue to work for it, because there is nothing better than having people who love you even when you are a crabby fart like I can be. There's my story. There's my 1 minute that turned into 30. And Olivia, I will hand it over to you to close us out, and then Maureen, as always. Liv.
How can I follow that up?
It's simple. You just talk.
You know I'm not good on this.
Did you have, she's like, I'm going to bed. I got my cough medicine. Olivia has been sick, and the fact that she's here tonight.
And I worked all week.
And she worked all week, and she's amazing. But I love you for it. And thanks for being here. Maureen, do you want to give us some final parting thoughts before we punch out for the weekend?
Always tell the people you love that you love them. Tomorrow's not promised.
Unless you live in Australia. Angel, here's the thing I'll tell you. She says, how can you believe someone loves you when no one ever has? Well, Angel, I know you do believe in God. So therefore, if you do, then the answer to your question is within the question itself, is you have to believe. And that's the only thing I can tell you about God. And it's the one thing that I constantly struggle with and challenge, is that if all else fails, he loves you. And if you don't have that faith anymore, that's where you start, I would suppose. And trust me, I don't have any of my family. My dad is gone. My mom doesn't talk to me. My sister, my brother. I've got my cousins, and I've got my family here. And sometimes you may not assume that somebody loves you, but there's somebody out there who does. And if you can't find God and you can't find your family, I know there's people on this show who love you tremendously. So think about that. But that's the best advice I can give you is don't stop looking for it, because it's there. You just need to find it. You need to have the courage to go and touch the snake, I guess. Oh, and that's another good one. Chuck says it starts with loving yourself. Yeah, I like that. That's all I got tonight, folks. Maureen, I love you. I thank you for being on. You're amazing. I'm sorry. I thought you had kids. I apologize.
No problem.
You going to be here Monday?
I plan to.
We'll see you then.
Kevin, you should have called in.
Thanks, Maureen. We love you dearly. You're the best. Thanks, buddy. Kevin, you should have called in, you pansy. We'll do it again. This is a fun night. Folks, here's the thing. Saturday, Sunday, we have tropical storm coming. They're expecting 3-4 inches of rain. That's not good on a clay.
I'm so bummed. One of my coworkers is supposed to get married tomorrow. She had to postpone the wedding. I'm so sad.
Angel, it's a longer conversation than I can have with you. I love you. You know that. We've had this conversation before. You need to pony up, toughen up, and push through. It's not a race. It's a marathon, and you're not going to win it tonight, and you're certainly not going to win it with whatever I say or whatever I don't say. We make the bed every day because that's what we do. We get up and go to work because that's what we do. We push through and we persevere because that's what we do. Whatever is here today is not always permanent. I would ask you just to take that fighting spirit you have and keep pushing forward. That's it. That's all I got. You're loved. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you can, stop on by, get yourself a red shirt. It's Red Friday. Olivia's got her red on. I've got my red on. Go get yourself a red shirt. You'll notice that the closing video has changed. If you have not had a chance to watch it, please do me a favor and do watch it. It means a lot to me. We got rid of the SEAL Team video because the stupid producers of the SEAL Team video kept hitting me for copyright. And
Really?
I'm like, this is a video that you guys provide. And they kept hitting me. So I'm done with that. This one, honestly, is much better. Give it a watch. We'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless. Thanks for watching the Donut
Looks
Friendly
like the
Show.
outer rings are going to hit us around 11 o'clock.
Yeah, we're going to get crushed by this storm. This is the big storm to hit Virginia. I appreciate you guys. I thank you. And a message to Meredith.
Night, y'all.
Lay one right here. Do I get a hug?
Oh, you guys are getting out in a minute, so I'm just going to...
All right, we'll be right out. If you have not had a chance to watch this. And then to Meredith, I believe that her name is, no hard feelings. I don't like ending it with anyone like that. Yeah, I'm a dick, but it doesn't mean that I have to always be that way. God bless. See you guys Monday. See ya. Matt, am I leaving my house? Hell no. We're going to stick it out here. Good night.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Oh man, that one messes me up. Leroy's going to come back, folks. He's almost through Chief Petty Officer School. October, 8 more days. He'll be here in 9 more days. Here's the rest of it.